Okay, hello everyone. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast and YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. Today is Friday, and I am going to proceed with the reading, love reading for today. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into the reading of this YouTube and podcast is entertainment, information, and sometimes educational purposes. So on Fridays, we do love readings. We also discuss spiritual attachments as well as love spells. If you feel as though you're under a love spell, I will actually pull out my pendulum board and get that answer. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull out. I'm going to do my love readings a little different today. I am going to actually do a six card in regards to your love reading for today. All right. So if you're wanting to book a reading, you can go on mycalendly.com/magic mind medium. All right, one, two, three, four, five, and six. All righty. All right, so let's proceed with the reading. Okay, so the first card I get is mask. Mask. For some of you out there, you're not showing your true feelings. It shows that I get a little bit of false feelings or not wanting to not wanting your feelings to actually show. That's what I'm getting. You're not wanting your feelings to show is what it shows me. For some of you out there, this is the what crosses over barrier or obstacle. I have both. Okay. For some of you out there, you could have possibly or potentially been hurt in the past in regards to relationships. Um, you know, as we all will know how relationships are. And I'm showing that that is the reason, or that is your issue. You have some closure issues, unresolved issues in the past in regards to love and love and relationships. Now, card three, I have abundance here. Okay, so I do feel as though deep down inside you think about um, prosperous love, even. Um, you constantly think about love. You constantly think about relationships and things of that nature. However, this is the reason I have clock here. Time to heal. So for some of you out there, I think um, you need to focus on things that improves the self, building of the spirit, self love. Even you may want to consider some chakra energy cleansing. Um, During these times, you may be concerned about a relationship. You may be fixated on relationships. But I feel as though source is wanting you to know that what you need to do is take out time for yourself and development of yourself, if that makes sense to you. And this is based on the cards that I'm pulling for today. For some of you out there in the past, it seems as though you may have been in a relationship where it reached that part of engagement. I don't feel as though it may still be at this particular time. So could it very well be a situation where perhaps you was engaged with somebody and things didn't work out and because you really didn't have those, you wasn't ready is what I'm gathering based on what the cards have here. You wasn't ready and potentially you wore a mask. That means you did not indulge your true feelings. You really wasn't into the relationship or whatever the case might be. According to the cards, is what it's showing me. So, in times such as this, relationships may not be feasible for you at this time. You need to take out some time to heal from whatever it is that you're dealing with, which I feel as though you brought into this relationship, the last relationship that you was in. So you need to take out time to improve on yourself, get into things that, again, builds of the spirit and things of that nature, so you won't be so codependent on relationships. Because as we would know, all good things come to an end. So if you are someone that gets so fixated on a person, and then when they're not there, what would you do? What would you have to rely on, right? So you need to learn to have some self-reliance, is what it lets me know. For some of you, I show that you are going into a new phase coming in 2025, and new phase is ascending in spiritual growth and development and improvement of self. Okay, it could very well be some of you are looking to make a transformation in terms of knowledge, spiritual growth. Some of you may be getting into school and looking to start a new venture on a career path, or getting into the gym and making some transformations in regards to that. So that's basically what I feel as though the reading for this week is targeted towards: improvement of self, not being so reliant and codependent on a relationship, if that makes sense to anybody. Now let's go ahead and I am going to pull out my Urban Tarot cards. And again, this is not going to be a long reading for this week for the love reading. So for those who may be tuning in or will be tuning in on tomorrow, Saturday, I'll be doing the chakra energy cleansing reading. Sundays, I will discuss my spiritual subject. Monday, the 10 card, Celtic Cross. Tuesdays, the zodiac sign. Wednesdays, the ancestral past life tarot. Thursdays, the illumination and revelation reading. All right, let's get out a couple more cards. Let's get out a couple more cards. All righty. Again, this podcast and YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes. It is for entertainment purposes. So, wealth, I feel as though for some of you, you need to put your wealth or your focus in you, whether it be health or what have you. For some of you, this is what you need to focus on: self-love, improvement of health, knowledge, know-how, wisdom. I feel improvement on not necessarily wisdom, but spiritual illumination, if that makes sense. I have oppression here. So I think a lot of you may be, in a sense, a little bit depressed. May have some depressed feelings here. Not exactly getting what you want. I have the defeat card to show up. I get a little bit of bitterness for some of you. So you may very well be someone that is harboring some bitter energy, if that makes sense to anybody. Bitter energy is not good. It's not good, what have you. It's not good for your spiritual development nor growth. Let's get a couple of these Mrs. Cleo's cards. Alrighty. All right, so we get the Knight of Cups here. Knight of Cups mentions romance and proposal. I honestly feel as though, based on the cards, it is in the future, potentially in the future. However, at this particular time, I think you need to work on yourself. Something lets me know that you have some underlining unresolved scars, emotional scars that you need to heal from. That's what it lets me know based on these cards. I get the 10 of coins here. 10 of coins mentions or the same as 10 of pentacles. I feel as though you are feeling that you want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be able to feel as though I contributed. I provided something to the world, and that's fine. We will all feel that way. We will all feel as though we want to contribute. We want to have a legacy. Somebody and I, and that we can say, "Oh, I created this," and that's totally fine. But I do feel as though you need to get yourself together prior to. Don't jump into something that um, you end up regretting, right? We want to make decisions based on what is sensible versus not. I get the 6 of cups. 6 of cups mentions nostalgia, gifts, innocence, and reunion. Yes, yes. So something lets me know based on that keyword nostalgia, there is some underlying issues that is going on in regards to you and love at this particular time. Do I feel as though you're under a love spell or, you know, no, I don't. Not in this particular case. And this really actually resonate with somebody that pops in my mind. I'm gonna tell you something that is so particular. Oftentimes I have to get up during the night to use the restroom or what have you. And during I call that the devil's hour or what have you, where you start getting all of these images and or what have you. And so this reading is of someone who just popped in my head. I don't know you from Adam. I don't. And this is how I know it's applicable to this person. But I'm gonna tell you something. Before say about 2 o'clock this morning, I'm sitting there and it's just like my mind just and I'm constantly getting it's like spiritual enlightenment, right? Like I begin to hear in the spiritual sense and I begin to get a sensibility as to how God is communicating with us and that we are all a part of a language underground, if that makes sense. And I'm sitting there and it's like it's putting wisdom and, information within me. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. And my brain doesn't turn off, right? And so all of a sudden I'm sitting there thinking about Vladimir Putin. And I'm like, why am I thinking about Vladimir Putin? I'm not gonna say I don't care about Vladimir Putin, but why am I so fixated on this particular person? So um, I found that to be very strange. Maybe this up and coming 10 card Celtic cross. Maybe if nothing else comes to mind or comes up, maybe I will do a 10 card Celtic cross on him this coming Monday. But for whatever reason, it just kept on just showing me an image of him, and it's just like right here, and it was just like constant. And then I didn't get no sensibility. I mean, besides the fact that I know he's the president of the USSR or Russia, what have you, and it's very cold over there. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, could I be picking up on my son? Maybe he's cold or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But it was just something that was just a side note. Maybe I should do a 10 card on him for whatever reason. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I am going to pull out 2 cards. Could it be oftentimes when God puts insight in me about somebody, I have to go back oftentimes and watch and sometimes rewatch my footage to see, could this resonate with that? Like, I'm not trying to, but many of times this is how, by way of mediumship, this is how God gives me sensibility about things, I feel. But yes, I was so focused on him last night, which I found to be very strange. Okay, so again, getting back to the reading and the love reading. All right, so the twin flame says, 2 divine order, practice patience. So I do think and feel as though you need to be patient in regards to getting into a relationship. You have some feelings, some underlying healing scars, emotional scars, I feel, that you need to be focusing on, right? You may want to consider therapy. I mean, we all would need to talk to someone who would not be judgmental of some things that may have transpired in our past, right? A therapist or whomever, a counselor. Um, the next card I get is 2 again, and it actually shows a match. You see that? That's the first time I pulled this card. You see that? This reading, the first love reading that I pulled was a mask, and then I see it here. It says 2. Remember your identity. You can do it. That's what it mentions. You need to develop of self. Perhaps get into things that will build of the self. Perhaps get into ancestral. When I got to the point where I was like, okay, I got one of those ancestral DNA. It's something very good to know whether the information is accurate or not, but it's something good to know to want to study your genealogy. And oftentimes, when you find out some things about yourself that you may not have known, it does give you a focus towards something versus staying stuck in a rut and being depressed in your emotions and feelings. So that also helps with the healing process, right? All right, so we're going to pull out our love and light cards. I'm going to pull 2 of these cards. So that's basically what that is. I think your thing is you need to focus on your identity. Self-identity is what I feel. All righty, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out. All right, so the first card we get here says, shine your inner light brightly. Yeah, so you need to focus on things involving building of the spirit, not being so not being so fixated or codependent on a relationship. I think this reading is really a self-love reading, focusing on self, practicing self-love, building of the spirit. So it mentions the city has no need of sun or moon, for the glory of God illuminates the city, and the Lamb is its light. Revelation 21:23. So you may also want to improve on self-development in terms of spiritual illumination and growth as well. Now the next card says God will lead the way. Now, of course, I have these love and light cards. This is not a religious nor biblical podcast. I often refer back to the biblical text to reconvene some things that I've seen in this life experience, right? So it says they were convinced by the power of miraculous signs and wonders and by the power of God's Spirit. Romans 15:19 is what it has here. All right. So I honestly feel as though in this particular case, is this person under a spell? I'm going to tell you in this case, I don't believe you are. And let's see what the board mentions. For those of you out there who may feel as though you're being bewitched, no, I don't. I feel as though this is somebody who it lets me know that this person who came to mind, I don't know you from Adam. I'll be honest about it. I don't. I got up, I literally got up about 20, 25 minutes ago. That's okay. It's Friday. Let me get up and let me do my love reading. It's Friday. And my mind is clear. And I'm coming in here and it's just like it's okay. I don't know this person from Adam. Why are you putting this person in the scheme of my mind? I don't know this person. I mean, this person does look like someone familiar to my past. So, just saying, who I haven't seen since I was a teenager, if that makes sense to anybody. All right, so um, is this person that I'm thinking about source or God? Is this person under a love spell? Again, no, no. And you may not be able to, it's going, if it goes this way, that's no. If it goes this way, that's yes. You may not be able to see this. And again, I will get my setup to where you're able to see the actual cards or what have you. So I do have my camera, my own personal camera. However, um, I have a new setup to where it can beam down to where you're able to see. So no, I do not feel as though you're bewitched. I don't feel as though you're on a love spell or anything of that nature, but I do get a little bit of not necessarily deception, even though I pulled the mask card twice. What I get is that there is someone who's trying to cover up their true feelings. And I do get bitterness there as well. Like this person I feel harbors some bitter feelings within their heart, is what I feel. Whether that be so or not, I don't know. All right. Okay, so that is your love reading. Uh, until then, have a safe. I want to put up. They got bitter